Hi, this is John Patrick Hickey, and I do want to welcome you back to our talk about the values of a success minded person. And I want to talk to you about a value that we really don't discuss a whole lot anymore. That's a concept about being frugal, being somebody who understands how to use money. Now, money is a very strange thing. And when I'm talking about money, I'm not just talking about cash in hand. I'm talking about the actual value of things, our expenses, our living, the material things that we have in life. And being frugal means that we understand it's not being stingy, it's not being tight with our stuff, but it's being responsible and being someone who understands how to take care of the things that we have because there is a lot of waste. You see, it always amazes me that we look at history, okay? You can go to Europe because the United States is really still a very young country. I mean, unless you have been to Europe and you toured around and looked at some of the castles, some of the historic sites in Europe, you don't realize how young the United States is. Uh, but you go there and you look and you can see castles, you can see monuments that were built that have lasted for hundreds, in some places thousands of years. Things that were built without computers, without the construction equipment that we have today, all the technical advances that we have today. And these places are sturdy, they're strong, and they've lasted, like I said, hundreds, thousands of years, and are still standing, still strong. And you look at our buildings today, and we have all this technology, we have all of this ability to make them huge and big and glorious, and in 10 years they fall apart. It's like, and we look at the past and say that these people were primitive. It's like, okay, how does that work in? But it's understanding that there's a quality that went into things back then that we just don't seem to have now. We don't make buildings to last for forever. They did. Their intention was that a building should last forever. Some of these were tombs. Some of these were meant to withstand time, that they were going to be there forever. And we build buildings because they're going to be useful for now. 10 years from now, we intend to knock them down and build something else. We don't put in the work in order to keep them for a long period of time because we don't intend to keep them for a long period of time. But it's very wasteful. And let's look at this on a personal level. We, on a personal level, have also taken in that mentality. You see, our ancestors, when they had something, they intended to use it until it absolutely had no use left in it at all. With us, we use it until, it has a scuff mark on it, and then we throw it away and we get something new. We don't repair things anymore. The days of shoe repair shops, they're gone. The days of even appliances and many other things that at one time were always being repaired are no longer being repaired. They're just gotten rid of. And we get new ones if we have something that we want to replace, because we live in a disposable society. That's the way that we treat things. And it's very wasteful. It's so funny that people, squawk and complain about the environment, and yet they are willing to constantly throw everything away. You look at World War II. During World War II, I think that we had lessons, minus the war. We had things during the war that we learned that were invaluable to today. Recycling, okay? Recycled everything during the war. Everything. They collected paper, they collected glass, they collected rubber, they collected plastic, they collected cardboard. Everything was recycled and used. It wasn't just recycled, it was recycled and used over and over again. That we had recycling down. Today we talk about recycling as if it was this new great idea. Oh, we're going to recycle things. People don't recycle because there's no reason, there's no motivation to recycle. The idea of saving the planet isn't motivation to the majority of people in order to recycle. Saving the troops was definitely a reason. But we could make things, if we recycled in order to make things that were useful, cheaper, and we could make them last, then there's greater motivation for that. We had gardens, chickens in our backyards. We had so many things that we did in order to save money, in order to produce our life during World War II. And yet, we abandoned it all to a culture today that is not working, not as good as it did then, as far as prices going up and things being difficult for people to have. We've created a generation that is lazy and unwilling to work or in order to take care of themselves. You see, being frugal is more than just saving money. It means that we look at things from a different perspective, that we take care of the things that we have, that we don't just throw away things just because we're done with them, that we use things until they're no longer used, and then we either repurpose them or we can recycle them. But being frugal means that we're just paying attention to what we're using, that we don't splurge money on things that are unnecessary, that we save, that we look ahead, that we're practical, that we use things properly. You see, it's so important to take care of your money. There are people who complain that they work and work and work and that they never seem to get ahead, and they complain about the wages that they get, and yet you'll find other people who make less than what they make and yet are able to pay for college, they're able to live comfortably. How do they do that? Well, they know how to handle their money. They're not wasting it on things. They're not taking their money and splurging it on unnecessary things. You see, being frugal is a lifestyle. Being frugal means that you are taking account for the things that you do. It's not being a tightwad. It's not restricting yourself, but it definitely is paying attention to what you're spending your money on and how you're living. If we all did that, we could all live very comfortably on the things that we have, and even greater. Now, I have no problem with people getting jobs and working hard, owning their own businesses, making money. I would hope that every one of you would become a multimillionaire, because I think that it is. I believe in capitalism. I believe in earning your way and making good income, but at the same time, I would pray that every one of you would be as frugal as can be. that you understand that you don't waste things. You don't just keep throwing things away just because you're tired of them. That you're practical in the way that you live and the way that you handle things. And that as a society, we start looking again at what is the best way to live, that we can help one another. You know, you look at all that we have, all the restaurants we have, all of the farmland that we have, all the people that we have. You look at all the possibility that's there, and then you think that there's hunger in our own country? How is this possible? How is this possible? It's not the government's job to feed everybody, but everybody could be fed. I mean, it's possible that we could do this if we were sensible, if we were practical in what we do. We waste so much. I'm not talking about giving people leftovers. I'm just talking about being practical in how we do things. You know, it just takes some rethinking, and we can really make a difference. So be frugal. Be somebody who is able to take care not only of their money, but all of their resources, and live a good, prosperous, and practical life. For the Growth Center, this is John Patrick Hickey, and I do want to encourage you to live your purpose and change your world. Hi, John Patrick Hickey again. And I want to thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. I do want to suggest that you hit the subscribe button, which is at the bottom of your screen, and that way you won't miss a single episode of any of the videos that are posted. If you'd like more information about my books or any of the blogs or videos that are available to you, then just go to our website, which is www.growthcenter.net. Or if you'd like to reach me by email, you can also do that by going to leadership@growthcenter.net. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.